Okay, Chef Sean Knight here. We're at part 2 of the dinner party for my girlfriend that came up out of nowhere. Okay, the sauce we started last night has reduced. You can see the ring and you can see the level. It's been going since about 12 o'clock last night. It is 11:30 a.m. the next day. Nice slow cook, bring all the flavors out. It's looking good. Here we got our ziti. It's already boiling off. I'm gonna let that boil for about 8 minutes. We want it to come to a nice al dente. We don't want to overcook it, especially since it's gonna go right back into the oven once we put our baked ziti together. Got my pot right here. I'm getting ready to heat up for my ground beef. I got my ricotta cheese right here. And on the ricotta cheese, we're gonna put 3 eggs. We're gonna put some fresh basil in there. We're gonna put a little mozzarella in there. We're gonna blend it all together. It's gonna be good. So, thank you for joining me again, and let's make a ziti. Go ahead and brown this beef, brown it up real good, season it with a little salt and pepper, some garlic, and that's starting to boil over. We don't want that. A lot of people believe when they make their pasta, they should put oil in the water to stop it from sticking, and that's a myth. When you first drop your pasta into your boiling water, the first 3 minutes it's in that water is when it's going to be the stickiest. That's when all that starch is releasing. That's when you want to make sure you're stirring it the most, that first 3 minutes. After that, every couple of minutes or so, come back and stir it up. But you don't need to put oil in your water because that oil will never even touch your pasta, and it's a waste of good oil. Once your pasta is cooked, and you drained it, you've cooled it down, then yeah, I like to drizzle mine with some olive oil. I think that does help bring out the flavor. But never put the oil in the water. Everybody knows oil and water don't mix. A little sea salt and beef. A little black pepper. And let's smash a little garlic. Drop that garlic in there. Okay. Like this. And that's only been in there about 3 minutes, so we're gonna let that go for another 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna chop up some fresh basil. Let's get you over here. And we're gonna go ahead and do our ricotta cheese. 3 eggs, 1 egg for every pound of ricotta cheese you use. Okay, some fresh basil. Fresh basil, salt, pepper, and we're going to mix that up in a minute. First we got to stir up our beef. Everything is starting to smell really, really good. Smells like little Italy up in here. All right. there's our ricotta mix. You can see the ricotta cheese, you can see the egg, salt, pepper, the fresh basil. We're just gonna whip that up until it's well muted. And that's that. Penne's starting to look really good. We'll give that another minute, maybe two. Not much longer than that. You gotta be careful you don't overcook your pasta when you're doing this. If you overcook your pasta, you'll ruin your whole dish. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull that pasta now. It's looking pretty good. So we got our ziti right there. And we're just gonna run some cold water over that, stop it from cooking. Yeah, just like that. That's going to get it cool, nice and cooled down. Our beef is coming along good. We're just going to brown that. Once we brown it, we're going to drain all that excess fat, that oil up out of there. Oil and water, just fat. We don't want it in our dish. And then we're going to fold in that sauce that we started last night. Mix that together. Then we're going to bring it over here to our roasting pan. And we're going to layer it kind of like a lasagna. We're going to do a layer of pasta. On top of the pasta, we'll put a layer of our ricotta cheese. On top of that, we'll put a layer of our meat and sauce. Hopefully then another layer of pasta, another layer of meat, of our cream cheese, and another layer of our meat and sauce. We're going to top all that off with some nice mozzarella cheese. We're going to pop it in the oven for about an hour, hour and a half maybe. This is going to be a big batch, so we might want to go an hour and a half with it. We're going to cook it off at 350 degrees. Best way to tell is when the edges of your pan, that cheese starts getting nice and dark brown around the edges. That's when you know you got a good ziti. Nice and cool. Now is the time to add your olive oil. Now you'll be able to taste the flavor. Just a little drizzle, that's all. A little bit of salt. See me? A little bit of pepper. And that's that. Mix that up real good. Oh, it looks so good. There might not be any left by the time the party starts tonight. I might eat it all. Alright, our beef is nice and brown. Just just gonna pop that in the strainer, get all that oil, that water, that fat, that stuff we don't want out of there. Turn down our heat. Let's have a look, see, shall we? There's our beef. We're just draining off all that goo, all that. We don't want that. Okay. And we're gonna put it back in that pan there. There's our ziti. Ooh, she looks good. There's our ricotta cheese blend. There's our mozzarella. And I am ready to make a ziti. I hope you guys are ready too. Turn that beef to the pot. Pour in some sauce. Can you see me? Pour in that sauce. Mix it up really good. Salt. And while that's going, I'm trying to get you at a level here where you can see all of this. Okay, well, I guess that's not too bad right there. So, we start with our ziti, a nice layer on the bottom of our pan there, like that. Not too deep a layer, because we want to multi-layer it, but it covers the bottom of the pan. That's what's important. Cover the bottom of the pan. Add our ricotta. A nice layer. The ricotta will melt and expand, so don't feel like you got to cover up every piece of noodle when you're doing this. Because trust me, when it's all said and done, it'll all be covered. It'll be fine. So that. Add some mozzarella. I like to be generous with the mozzarella. Okay, see there. Get a good look at that. We got the ricotta on top of the noodles. We got the mozzarella on top of the ricotta. So let's put some beef on top of that. Oh, it's smelling good. It's smelling good. And that looks good like that. For the first layer. The carrots. Okay. Seeing that? That looks good. That's just layer one. We're gonna do it again. do it again. She wants to feed 11 people. We're going to feed 11 people. We're going to make sure they leave here fat and happy. Everybody should be fat and happy. I know I'm fat and happy. Mozzarella, 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 Rosabella. That might be the extent of my Italian vocabulary. Mozzarella, mozzarella, Rosabella. This is going to be good. The rest of our beef. Spread that out kind of nice there. Mozzarella, Monticello, and then, oh yeah. It's gonna be cheesy, folks. No worries about that, it will be cheesy. Wow. Okay, and we're going to finish it off with just a little more garnish so it looks pretty when it comes out the oven. Mozzarella, Monticello, Rosabella. There we have it, folks. Yeah. Ooh, that is how you feed 11 people and send them home happy. Okay, that's part 2 of my girlfriend's dinner party, the baked ziti. Part 3 will just be us pulling it out of the oven, and the salad we're going to make to go with it. It's going to be a nice blend of garden greens, some cucumbers, some carrots, some onions, some cherry tomatoes. We're going to top all of that off with some garlic grilled shrimp. It's going to be nice. Stay tuned for part 3.